All right, so this is my custom 30 by 30 by 18 71 gallon reef tank. Built it out of two 29-gallon aquariums I got from Petco during the $1 per gallon sale, and I took them apart and I used the four long 30 by 18 inch front and back panels. And I finally got it up and going this past Saturday. So it's been up for about 3 days now, 3 or 4 days. And had some tweaking to do. I had some air bubbles coming in because I forgot to glue the PVC on the return pipe. But I think I got that pretty much settled. But I think it turned out pretty good. I did custom overflow for the back wall there. Just used 1/8 inch acrylic. It does bow a little bit, but it seems to be holding on. I just had a piece of scrap laying around, which I wound up using. And I used the blade runner to cut the teeth. And, it's not perfect. It's not perfectly straight, but it's straight enough. It doesn't look terrible, and it works. So I'm pleased with how it turned out. And I also did the cabinet. It's hard to see. It's kind of dark in this room, but did the custom cabinet. And it's also 30 by 30, excuse me. And the cool thing about this cabinet, which I really, really love, I'll go back to the tank in a minute, but because it's kind of deep and it's 30 by 30, I decided one door wasn't going to cut it, because if you need to get to the sump, I don't have a light down here yet, but if you need to get down here to clean out your skimmer or something, it's going to be difficult to reach the very back. So what I wound up doing was making panels, removable panels for both sides. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with 2 hands. It's been kind of humid. Okay. So what I did is I used dowels. I don't know if you can see the dowels. And basically I drilled holes in the side of the studs there, and drilled straight through the panels here, and then slipped the dowel through with wood glue, then sanded it flush and just painted the doors, or the panels, should I say. But now I have complete access to my that's my UV light back there. And then as well as the sump, and the other side comes off as well the exact same way. I'm not going to take that side off. That one's a little stickier. It's a little more difficult, and but you get the idea. I've been thinking about this for a couple of years, and I thought about doing magnets, and that seemed like a good idea, but it was just a little more to it. I thought dowels are pretty simple. And if the dowels for some reason fail, then I could always go to magnets, at least in the center, on the top and bottom, to hold it in place. But it holds tight. It holds well, and I'm really happy with it. Once I get the light going under here, I'll do another update. I wound up breaking the baffle to my skimmer section that goes from my skimmer to my return section while I was doing the upgrade, because I had a 20 gallon that I had for a year, and so when I finished this build, I basically swapped them out but kept the sump. And as during the swap, I was trying to get the skimmer cup off, and it twisted and broke the baffle, and so now the water fluctuates, and that's why I don't even have my skimmer in there, because it's no point. But I wound up picking up another 20-gallon tank, and I'm going to redo the skimmer or the sump to accommodate the skimmer, because I bought that after, and I had to use a plate to raise up the level of the skimmer, and this way I can make that center section for that skimmer so it runs like it's supposed to without having to mess with it. But I'll put that up in a bit. But this is the tank, and like I said, I'm just really, really pleased with how it came out. I'm no expert tank builder, and if you get close enough, you can see my caulking is a little chunky in places, but you know, it's holding up, and it doesn't look too bad from afar. If you go looking for it, though, you'll see the mistakes and the imperfections. But overall, though, like I said, I'm just really pleased. I wound up using 2x4 to mount my light. This is a max spec G2. I believe it's a G2. 110 watt, and it's okay. So far, my corals are just starting to kind of come back out. They were really in shock because I had them in a bin for 2 days while I was doing the move, and it wasn't big enough for a heater, so nobody was happy. The fish were struggling, the coral was struggling, but I managed to get everybody back in here and filled up, and so far so good. Like I said, still doing little tweaks here and there. I think once I get that new sump up and get the skimmer going, and I'm going to do double filter socks, I think it's going to look great in a couple of weeks. So I'll do an update video after a couple of weeks. It's been up for less than a week at this point, and this is where we're at. But so far, no big no losses. I didn't lose any fish. I didn't lose any coral yet. So everybody's still hanging in there. I decided to go with this it's kind of a greenish blue. I think the actual color is called Pure Mint. But I was kind of going for like a Cancun type of watercolor. It's close. It's not quite there, but it's not bad. I just didn't want to go dark with another black wall or dark blue, and just wanted something different. And I'm still warming up to it, though, so we'll see. We'll see in a couple weeks. But here's another side angle. And didn't want to overcrowd to have too much rock in here, so I did really limited rock work, and trying to keep it down. I want to add more coral. I think I'm going to go with softies. I'm not going to mess around with the SPS. I'm just going to stick with the LPS for now and see how that goes. Fill some space and go from there. But here's the overflow, and these are my pump controls. And you can see the back of the teeth I cut. They're okay. They're not awful, but by no means perfect. And then I just used PVC and made my own overflow, and then there's a little piece of tubing in there. At the top, I drilled a 1/4-inch hole, put PVC or tubing in there to kind of quiet it down some. And it's pretty quiet. I don't hear much. And then just did the elbows with the skimmer strainer caps on the ends there. I did double overflow. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I had a lot of turbulence in the sump because of the double overflow, but I added a filter sock. I went filter sockless in my last tank for the last year, and it was okay. And towards the end of the year, I started getting major hair algae. A lot of it had to do with just timing and me spending time cleaning it, like keeping my regimen up. And I'm a full-time student and parent, and it's kind of difficult at times to get the water changes in when you need to. And anyhow, it got out of hand towards the end. But I decided to go with filter socks this time, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up on my water changes. At least get the tank stable and mature enough where, you know, if I'm over by a couple weeks, it's not gonna cause a catastrophe like in my other tank. It also was a 20 gallon. This is a 71 gallon, so that's a big difference in water volume that could handle more changes. You know, you're not gonna feel the effect of the changes as quickly. So I'm kind of counting on that. I had a 60 gallon years back and 65 gallon, and I didn't have any issues. I can skip a month or sometimes two and not have outbreaks like that. So I'm hoping to get to that point with this tank where it's mature enough where it can handle inconsistencies. But that's about it. I'll do an update in a couple weeks and see where we're at. Hopefully I'll have some new fish or coral to add. So right now I just have these mushrooms. I have green mushrooms. And I just added this little Kenya tree. I know a lot of people hate them. They grow fast though. And I had one in my 65 and it was huge. And it's kind of a pain in the ass when they drop branches, but you know, it grows quickly and it fills up space, and I kind of like that. So right now this tank's really empty with coral wise, so I want some volume. So that was my first choice, and it's super cheap. I think I got that friend for $10, and it wasn't on a rock. I glued it myself, but it was just loose in a tank. And then I got that feather duster. It's kind of brownish. It's not very pretty. And then I have my frog spawn, and he's still not all the way, a little grumpy since the move. He's not opened up all the way yet. And my gorgonia, it's purple gorgonia. It's just now starting to reopen. And that's a Japanese deep water toadstool. And he's just now starting to open up again. He was a little bigger than when I had him in the other tank, so hopefully he'll perk up some. But that's all the coral I have right now, so I'm still going to be adding stuff, so hopefully I'll have something new when I do my update. But that's about it. This was about 2 months worth of work for me to do the glass tank, the overflow, the plumbing, the cabinet, and everything else. And I'm still not done because I got to redo the sump, but at least we got it up and running, and that's good. So, all right, thanks for looking, and look for the update sometime in July. Thanks.